Well, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate.
Here's the problem. When someone has nothing real to add, they just talk in circles. The hosts on The View have drifted so far from everyday voters that their commentary feels disconnected. Whoopi Goldberg has run that table for years, cutting people off and pushing her opinions like they were final. But that control slipped the moment Karoline Leavitt showed up. The episode started like usual with the eye rolls, the smug laughs, and the panel moving in lockstep with the show's politics.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Whoopi leaned back, ready to steer another discussion. Then the topic of wokeness came up, a subject the show treats like sacred ground. Feeling confident, she fired the first shot. She pointed at Karoline and said, "Without wokeness, you wouldn't even have this job." The room changed instantly. Even Joy Behar shifted in her chair, unsure how far Whoopi was about to take it.
I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time.
That was so good.
What came next from Whoopi was predictable. After all these years, you'd expect her to bring something fresh, but it was the same routine, the same tone, the same dismissive approach.
In a statement afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that you-know-who will not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective, or is this more the same of, everybody's against me, it's all rigged, I tell you. Is everything rigged?
No, it's their MO. That's what they do. Rachel Maddow said last week, she's like, if the election is lost, it was rigged. If there's a debate, then the moderators are probably biased and they're prejudiced against.
The tension in the room was obvious. Whoopi had taken a direct swing at Karoline's entire career and intelligence, framing everything she'd achieved as something handed to her by an ideology she didn't even believe in. The audience clapped out of habit, but you could sense the discomfort. Karoline didn't react with anger or a rushed comeback. She just smiled, steady and calm, like she knew exactly what was coming next. She laid out government spending records showing how taxpayer money was being funneled into questionable programs tied to political activism. She explained how the concept of wokeness had shifted from a movement into a tool used to control debate. And suddenly, Whoopi wasn't smiling.
And disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world.
Karoline spoke with clarity and purpose. It's strange that instead of respecting another woman's perspective, the hosts chose to mock her. It says a lot about the priorities in that room.
We have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and all of this other BS.
For someone used to dominating every exchange, Whoopi looked rattled. She shifted in her seat, searching for something to say. She's used to guests stumbling over their words. Not this time. The silence grew uncomfortable. Even the audience didn't know whether to clap or wait. The camera crew didn't know where to point. For the first time in a long time, Whoopi had nothing. And Karoline exposed the deeper question. If wokeness is supposed to promote inclusion, why are conservative women the ones constantly targeted? Joy finally tried to break the silence with a forced joke, but the damage was already done.
Listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on. Right. That's what you hear.
Yeah.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say.
It's tough to watch because her arguments fall apart the moment she has to face something concrete. It's surprising she still holds so much influence on daytime TV when the substance just isn't there anymore.
Talk at you, not to you. And that's what she was doing. And she was doing it, and it's not new.
Mm-hmm. No.
But everybody's hip to you all now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we are anticipating that you are not prepared. Because you keep saying you going and you preparing when you're on the train.
The internet wasted no time. Clips spread everywhere. And this wasn't Whoopi's first controversy. Over the years she's dragged the show into one mess after another, from offensive remarks to questionable defenses of public figures. But the lawsuits have been the hardest hits. First Carrie Underwood, then Elon Musk, and now Karoline Leavitt. Advertisers started stepping away. ABC found itself stuck defending a show that was suddenly more trouble than reward.
Live on this program yesterday, Joy Behar stirring the pot of controversy after saying this about Karoline.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Do you want to take this?
So you cannot be attractive and smart? I will try to give Joy the benefit, and oh, thank you. I try to give Joy the benefit of the doubt that she didn't see that briefing. Because if you saw that yesterday on numerous topics, no big binder, I think she might have had a different impression of this young woman who held her.
Seeing someone push back with facts instead of rehearsed talking points was a relief to a lot of viewers. It broke the predictable rhythm the show has relied on for years.
I have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did absolutely no research or reading about anything dealing with Karoline Leavitt before she made that remark. Mm-hmm. Because Karoline Leavitt she went to St. Ansel College, she worked for WMUR
Ran for Congress?
In New Hampshire. She ran for Congress at the age of 25, put on a very good campaign.
Karoline's resume speaks for itself. Whoopi's recent track record is much harder to pin down. She built a solid acting career long ago, but lately she's known more for on-air blow-ups than thoughtful discussion. Her value to the show seems tied to seniority rather than impact.
She lost by 8 or 9 points, but she still put on a good campaign. Then she was the press secretary for the Trump campaign, going on TV literally every day.
Well, heavily pregnant and a new mom.
Pregnant. Yeah, she's a new mother. And then she goes out yesterday and gives and this, again, this is speaking very objectively, because I've watched every press secretary since going back to Marlon Fitzwater. Yeah, I'm that old. And she went out there for her very first briefing at the age of 27 years old, the youngest press secretary ever, and did a terrific job.
Then the emails leaked. ABC had purposely structured an attack on Carrie Underwood to stir outrage and boost ratings. When that came out, the network scrambled to settle. Before they could catch their breath, the comments about Elon Musk triggered another lawsuit. Advertisers grew tired of the constant drama, and the show's reputation started to sink.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation.
Karoline became the one person willing to challenge the pattern directly, and it struck a nerve. Viewers noticed.
The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our...
Whoopi's time on The View ended quietly, though ABC tried to dress it up as a temporary break. The truth was clear. She was pushed out after years of conflict and the final blow from her exchange with Karoline. Now the show is at a crossroads. Will they find another host who keeps things the same or finally try something different? The future of the show is suddenly in question.